It is officially the end of the NFL draft cycle as the draft kicks off tonight. But before we get there, I want to place my stake in the ground. I want to give you my official My Guys list of 2026. Now, in order to trust me, I want to walk you guys down memory lane. But before we do that, please consider dropping a like, subscribing to the channel. We're on the road to 150 subscribers, and the support this year has been amazing on this channel. So, hey, if you enjoy, drop some of your My Guys down below in the comments section, but also support the channel. In 2023, that was the first year I was making videos and breaking down the NFL draft. I was 2 of 3. I wanted to limit it to 3 guys every single year. And I would say Kendre Miller let me down. In 2024, it was a great year for the main channel and also for the My Guys list. But the biggest miss was the guy in Audric Estime. So 2 years in, and the running back position let me down both times. But man, I remember covering Latu. Loved him. He's probably my favorite prospect in the entire time of covering these players on the channel. And then last year's list, it is too early to decide if they are hits or misses. So far, I would say Kyle Monangain is a hit because he was a 7th round pick and he's already found himself a nice role. But all in all, this was my list last year. And without further ado, let's get into the official top 5 guys on the 2026 list. My favorite prospect in this year's class is Gabe Jacas, a 4-year player, 3-year starter, a former state champion, not 1 time, but 2 times in wrestling. He is strong and he is impactful on the field. He's had 19 sacks over the last 2 seasons, 7 forced fumbles. We know the coaching staff here at Illinois produces NFL talent, and that's why, man, at 6'3", 270 pounds, Gabe Jacas is my main guy this year, and he's top 20 on my entire big board. Man, I really think he is closer to being the 2nd best edge than the 4th best edge in this class, if you ask me. And number 2 is Jacob Rodriguez, perhaps the most talented player in college football last season. About 130 tackles, 7 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, unanimous first-team All-American, and also the Dick Butkus Award winner. At 6'1", 230 pounds, though he is a bit undersized, a bit short, he's going to be the anchor of any defense in the front 7. On a defense in the Texas Tech that made a deep run into the college football playoff last year, or at least they made the dance. This is a guy in Jacob Rodriguez that stood out amongst the star-studded front 7 with guys like Romello Height, Skylar Gill-Howard, Lee Hunter, David Bailey. I thought Jacob Rodriguez had the best season of all. This is a guy that is top 4 on my entire big board. And yes, even though there's guys like Arvell Reese, guys like Sonny Styles, Jacob Rodriguez, to me, is my number 1 linebacker in the class, and I think he has Hall of Fame potential, and I don't say that lightly, especially in the NFL realm of things. Now let's go deep sleeper. My only offensive player on the list this year is Chase Roberts. This guy is going to be a day 3 selection, and you're saying, Owen, for one, who is this guy, and why are you high on him? Well, I'll say this. At 6'4", 210 pounds, he brings you number 1 weapon size, but he's a slot wide receiver. He creates more separation than perhaps every receiver in this class, not named Makai Lemon, and he's productive as well, man. He's been the main weapon in a BYU offense that's been top 10 in the country in spurts over the last 2 college football seasons. But last year alone, over 50 receptions, 800 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Again, he's not the twitchiest athlete, but he creates a ton of separation. And at 6'4", that's a big frame to be a slot wide receiver. So I love his versatility. He's top 50 on my big board. And for Chase Roberts, I would love to see where he lands on day 3. If he lands in like Vegas, I would love to see what him and Fernando Mendoza can do for years to come there in that offense that kind of needs wide receiver talent. And number 4 is another deep sleeper. It's Red Murdoch. If I was going to say that Jacob Rodriguez was the most productive linebacker, Red Murdoch, man, is in that conversation. 142 tackles, 5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles. He has dominated the MAC over the last 2 seasons. Now you're going to say, Owen, it's the MAC conference. It's not the SEC or the Big Ten. And that's a great argument. But when you turn on the tape, this guy is Vontaze Burfict 2.0. He's not only looking to tackle and to make big plays for his defense, He's looking to tone set. He is looking to scare the offense and potentially pick up a penalty or two along the way. But he's potentially the hardest hitter in the class. At 6'3", 240, he has great size there in the middle of a defense. He is top 50 on my big board. And just like Chase Roberts, I don't see any other person in America talking about Chase Roberts and or Red Murdoch. I'm here to tell you, these guys, if they could find a role, they can be very productive. If you don't believe me, we got a couple hours into the NFL draft, man. So feel free, turn on the tape and see if you like these guys as much as I do. But Red Murdoch, great name, but also he's been very productive in college football over the last 2 years, and I no doubt think he can transfer to the next level. The last guy might be controversial. It might be a layup, but I guess hear me out, because the consensus around Peter Woods has plummeted over the last 2 months. Now, I had no intentions of this guy being my guy, someone that I really get behind going into the NFL. But for Peter Woods, the discourse about him is really toned down, right? He was a consensus top 5 selection this time last year for this draft. And with the down year that the entire Clemson team had, he has really plummeted on draft boards. Last year alone, in a down season, mind you, he had 30 tackles, 2 sacks, and 15 pressures, getting double teamed at one of the highest rates in the entire college football landscape. At 6'3", 315, he does come in a bit overweight. He didn't test at the combine, so that is also reason to concern. Does he have that willingness to be a great player in the NFL? Because work ethic is just as important, if not more important, than talent going from college to the NFL. Those are definitely good things to be concerned about. But when I turn on the tape, super twitchy athlete in the pass game. He can work on a bit more counters to his game, but in the run game, he's dominant, man. Sets a strong anchor, commands double teams, and he's still quick enough, twitchy enough to get past these double teams and create havoc in the backfield like he's done for multiple seasons for the Clemson Tigers. So the 5th and final my guy will be Peter Woods, a guy that should be a first-round selection, but he probably won't be, and he'll probably slip to the second round and be an absolute value down the board. But overall, man, he is top 13 on my entire big board. So here's my official list for the 2026 season. This is your reminder to, of course, get in the comments section down below and let me know 1 or 2 of your guys in this year's draft, guys you're riding with no matter where they land, because you love their talent so much. But also, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel, man. It's been another successful college football draft cycle on the channel, and we're on the road to 150 subscribers. So if you enjoy, consider supporting us down below. Now, some other honorable mentions, guys that I'm really, really high on, and they could take that last spot from Peter Woods. Guys like Anthony Hill Jr., guy that flies around the field, makes a ton of plays. He's very, very smart there for that Longhorns defense. I love the potential, and I think he'll be a steal in day 2. Bud Clark, veteran safety, flies around the field, makes a ton of plays. You've heard that a bunch today, but those are the kind of players I want to see on defense. He could easily land in like Chicago, a defense that needs to get some help in that safety spot. And Dennis Allen and Bud Clark, I think, would have a lot of success together. And then Chandler Rivers is another defensive player. A lot of defense this year for myself. A bit undersized there coming out of Duke, but I love what his technical ability in the man coverage side of things, the zone coverage side of things. His ball skills are underrated. So Chandler Rivers, add his name to the short list of guys that could have been on the top 5. And then on offense, it's Daquan Wright, athletic freak. I think he reminds me of kind of like a George Kittle mold, where he's so solid all around. And though he doesn't have that blazing speed, his deceptiveness as far as being an athlete can surprise you. And also Vega Ione, man, a true mauler in the run game. Spencer Fanu could also be on this list. But overall, man, Spencer Fanu, Vega Ione, other guys that were on the short list, and I love on the offensive line. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning into, whether this is your first video or your 150th on this channel. Let's go have a fun NFL draft. And Cleveland Browns, please don't mess this up.